Hello, welcome back to Soul Blazer. This is Bio Enchanted, and today we'll be going into the second major dungeon. So this is Greenwood's dungeon, the swamp. These guys are a basic enemy type. They're just like the goblins you just kind of walk into trying to do damage to. They're kind of like the first enemy type in the first level. A lot of the enemies in this level are kind of elaborations on the enemies from the first level. And that's pretty interesting in its own way, but that makes some of them kind of annoying to deal with. But we'll see it when we see it. One thing I like is when you release the animals in this area, you get little, like, tree stumps or blossoms all alongside them. Those actually have a reason for being there. It's kind of a minor setting thing more than a plot thing, but it's there. This really annoyed me because these guys, I wanted to kill here because they're annoying. Because as you can see, they move randomly, like the enemies from the first area did, that were the same kind of planting thing. But also, they fire their tendrils like that, and when the tendrils are out, as you can see, they're immune to magic or any damage at all. And now he's gone off screen and won't come back. So yeah, that was annoying. I'll have to deal with those when I get back to them later. These guys, though, are taken care of, because they can hit you from there, because of the way their tendril works, if you get close enough to the shore. So you really want to take care of these guys as soon as possible from afar, if possible. But it's just right now the fireball isn't very effective at that because of how small it is. And the fact you have to be facing them as well. That's the kind of place where the crab rock comes in, but I didn't really realise that because I'm kind of an idiot. This area, as you can see, is much more winding than the old castle was. From the first level area thing. But it also has far less shortcuts. We'll have to go pretty much around the entire thing each time, and that's kind of a pain. These little lizards that come jumping out of the water are kind of, there are permanent enemies, ones that keep respawning. They're the equivalent of the candles, because they similarly fire a projectile. And, but the difference being, they fire only in one direction. The difficulty from them comes when you don't know exactly where they're going to actually, if you don't know exactly where they're going to land when they jump out of the water. Because they can often, like, because of the height of their jump, if you're above them, like a square above them when they jump out of the water, they will still hit you. Because then they'll be overlapping you, so you really want to be kind of nowhere near them if you can help it. Or just kill them like that. Because if that guy had jumped into the water and back out again for the first time while I killed him, he would have hit me as well. So yeah, we'll try again taking out these plant guys, just to show how annoying it can be. These are, in my opinion, the most annoying enemy in the game, simply because of the nature of them, the fact that they keep going off screen, and now I just realised I can't hit them, so I'm just going to kind of give up and move on from there. After trying to coax them to coming back, but that's not going to happen, so we'll have to come back at that from a different angle later on. Now this is the first of... yeah, I'm not going to hit him from here either. This is the first of 3 shrines in this area, the water shrine. That's how this area is divvied up. The previous level had the ancient castle and then the painted world. This area has the swamp and then 3 shrines scattered throughout the swamp. It's one big kind of more linear area than the first area was, as opposed to 2 areas like that one was. So there's more of a kind of a straightforward progression, more of an actual like dungeon kind of progression where you get to the end of the dungeon and then fight the boss. As a result, it's one of the less interesting dungeons because of that, but it's visually got a lot of variety to it. And it's nicer looking in times than the abandoned castle. It's just sometimes it can feel a little bit sewer level-y because of all the water and the walkways and everything. And the complete randomness of these bush idiots. These guys are so annoying to deal with. These kind of enemies are the reasons I don't like to actually, like, keep my deaths in this game. Because otherwise I'm going to look back with 0 gems, and that is a nightmare for these kinds of enemies. But as you can tell, the fireball actually hits them twice if it hits them because of the way because of the speed at which it travels through their hitbox. So before I press that, because that will likely end up showing a screenshot of the village and respawning all these guys, we're going to kill these guys first. So when we come back around to them, I can just step on the button. Because of course, they're very, very, very predictable. They always walk in the exact same pattern, so you can just wait for them to overlap and just do this. Which is fairly cute and kind of satisfying in its own way, because you get to kill multiple ones at a time. One thing I like is that in this area, in Greenwood, it's more than just building little houses. Like, different types of creatures get different types of homes, like the squirrels live in the trees, you get the birds that live by the tree stumps, and then you get a few other things as well on top of that we'll be seeing later on. Of course, like the way I did the first level, this one's going to be a similar thing. Get to a particular point where the game wants you to go back to the town, and then go back to the town, and then pick up the next time from there. And yeah, this isn't hitting. There we go. These waterfalls are impenetrable, we can't go past them. And yeah, these guys suck when they're this close, because again, even the slow doesn't hit them when they're that close, if they have their tendril out. This is a really, really annoying enemy type that I really dislike, and pretty much every other enemy type later in the game is much better than these are. These guys are just so frustrating because of the random movement and the fact that they can hit you from miles away. There's me making sure I still have the herb equipped. So last thing I want is to get touched to death by these idiots. I just kind of ate that one so that I could get at the button. I like the birds, they're really cute sprites. One key problem I have with these first two dungeons is the music is very kind of... At least the second dungeon, the music is a little bit dull. It's going for kind of a sort of a thick, swampy sound. I'm not going up there quite yet, but the thick, swampy sound is kind of a boring one, in my opinion anyway. I mean, it does a good job with the atmosphere, but it's just not an interesting song. Also, here's our some stationary traps that we have here, these little rings of spears. One thing I quite like with these little potato guys is that they are very stupid. They won't go past certain obstacles, they'll just run right into them if you're in the right position. And here we have a little teleporty thing, which is basically always a hint of, you might want to start going back around now because you might need stuff later. And before we do that, let's get some experience from her like we normally do. And before we turn to Greenwood, we have a few other things to finish off here before we can do that. Yeah, that Light to the Darkness thing is being literal. The next floor of this dungeon, this is where we're stopping here, is actually a dark floor, and we can't see some of the enemies without retrieving that mole. So that's why we're going to end this episode talking to the mole instead of going into the second basement of the water shrine. First though, we have a few more gems, so let's go use them on these grass things up here before we forget. Seriously, these lizards are a little annoying if you don't remember they're coming. I was strategic in my last use of those gems. And now we have a bunch more, which is very nice. It's always good to have as many gems as possible before dealing with those grass idiots. So let's head back to town, shall we? Back to Greenwood. And we'll see what we have unlocked for ourselves. Yeah, the stumps are actually their own NPCs, and that's really cute. Much like in Terra Enigma, the main character has the power to speak to anything, be it plant or animal or human. No restrictions, he can talk to basically anything, except rocks. Yeah, that squirrel needs something to eat, which we haven't got yet, so we can't get the sword from him yet, but that'll be very shortly. That won't take long at all, really. I like all the little pink flowers around the moles, that's cute. And yeah, as you can see, there's actually a whole, like, network of moles down here. And now we have the mole soul, so now we can see enemies in the second basement, which otherwise would have been invisible. Which is not much fun. The invisibility is kind of an annoying mechanic, because of the way it works. It all comes down to the magic spinny thing, of course, because that's the soul of the old man. So of course, similarly, the mole takes the place of the little spinny thing as well. He doesn't replace a spell because he's not a spell in his own right, he's just a passive thing. So while he doesn't replace the little orbs, he still can cast fire while having the mole and everything like that. The idea is he's inhabiting the soul orb thingy. I like this dog. He's particularly cute, I like what he has to say. Yeah, we have a nice little bit of, like, the tonal thing here as well, where, while it's a very lush, pretty area with a very cute idea because it's all animals and stuff, it's also very, like everything else in the game, it has a level of macabreness to it, because of the graveyard and the idea that a lot of them have died over the time that this place has existed. And I like that phrase a lot, that's a really cute phrase. So let's heal ourselves up, shall we, before we dive back into the dungeon next time. So that's everything we can do here for now. So next time we'll delve back into the dungeon and finish that section. See you then, goodbye.